Hello, sisters. Please, I need help. I'm addicted to fat ladies. There is a particular lady near my residence who I sometimes pick up when going to work. She is fat and a widow, but she is my spec, and I don't know how to approach her. Sometimes when I pick her up in my car, I get so uncomfortable because I get erected immediately. Wow, you have an erection by her just sitting in your car. How do I approach her? I'm 44 and I'm not married and living in my own residence. No, you know what? I don't think it's funny. I actually like the fact that he shared what he really feels and how he makes her feel. You know, there's always that person that makes you think maybe that's his butterfly.
Hey,
and his own butterflies are
down there.
Hey, the groin area.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Please, ask the seller that he has seen my arms.
Give it a wave.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear.
That's on a lighter note.
It's great that God is wonderful.
Yeah.
If God decided all men are supposed to fall in love with slim-looking girls, what's going to happen to short ladies, big ladies, voluptuous ladies, curvaceous ladies? Like, they're not going to get any partner.
Exactly.
So it's good that you actually acknowledge what attracts you. But my only thing is, you need to watch it a little bit because there's a thin line between actually getting attracted to someone and actually lasting after them.
Right.
But
the good thing is that he has a spec.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't fault him at all. But he needs to watch the line between lust and love. You know, because clearly we all know he likes voluptuous looking women. You know, so you watch that. Right now, I'm not sure whether you are lasting after her or you genuinely are loving her or liking her. I would actually ask you to take your time so that you be able to define exactly what it is that you're feeling. Because sometimes you realize that if you're lasting after her and you sleep with her, you don't want to see her, you don't want to be with her because you've had your pound of flesh already. There's nothing more exciting. And I would also not encourage you to rush to want to sleep with her, but let me not get ahead of myself. You just want to find out how you should be able to, what to do to get her attention. Isn't that why he sent his submission?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's a widow, she's available, but you don't know how available she is. Maybe she could be a widow talking to somebody. Maybe somebody's toasting her, you don't know. So I think that you should, tiny steps. Start off, get to know her. At least you know she's a widow. We all don't know how you know she's a widow, but you know that the whole time, the time that you spend in the car between wherever it is that you're from and where you're going, that's a long time to actually build a relationship with somebody, because then now you look forward to meeting up with them. So my thing is that take your time. Don't get too much ahead of yourself. Ask questions. Women love men who care about them as a human being, who ask intimate questions. I'm not saying what's the color of your panty or what color, no, I'm not saying that, or how many times do you like to have sex. No, I'm not saying that kind of intimate questions. That you really care about who they are, what they want in life, what their goals are, what their aspirations are. Why?
She's been giggling since. I don't understand why, but finish, then we'll ask her why she's giggling.
You know, women like to know that men care about them. And she's also coming from a very broken-hearted place because she lost her husband. So I would advise you to take it slow. You would realize that while you're busy trying to figure out who she is, being interested in what she likes, take her out. You know, say, oh, you know, maybe not as boyfriend, girlfriend,
Let's
but
go on a drink.
what exactly? Do you mind grabbing a drink on Saturday? What are you doing? Do you want to pop out? Should we, there's golf, maybe not golf, I don't know. Do you want to eat wachi? It's Saturday. Do you fancy eating wachi? But take it slow, and you realize that everything would unfold naturally. It wouldn't be forced, and and you'd also have time to appreciate what it is that you actually feel for her, whether it's love or it's lust. But by all means, please don't rush it. Take your time. If a girl, if she likes you, you will know. The reason why I say that is because while you progress, right? Small conversations in car. Oh, let's meet up. Let's have wachi. Go on friend zone. And then the moment when you ask for a hug, if she's like hugs you back in return, little things make you realize that a woman like is into you. If she's like, oh no, like I'm really not, it means that it's either you need to give it a little bit more time and get to know her and then talk more. But by all means, start off a conversation and watch out for the hints.
All right. Rosie, why are you giggling?
Because she's Madam Romantic. I knew she was going to take it from like a little
romantic?
touch here, kiss here, whisper in the ear, do this. So I was actually expectant of those things. So,
So what would you advise him?
you see, I don't know why. Why can't he talk? 44 years old. You are 44.
That's why he's single, Rosie.
And you
Yeah,
have your
he
own,
has his own residence.
You have your own residence
And his own car.
Your own car. You pick her up every time. See, that is an opportunity right there, staring in front of you. It's like I'm a marketing person, and there's a client I've been chasing for so long. I find myself in the same space with
you
the
always?
client. Pitch your pitch.
Ace.
No, pitch your pitch. In fact, the first real job I ever got, it was because the gentleman said apparently wanted someone to teach him salsa to surprise his wife, who was pregnant. And the wife really loved salsa. So the wife had gone to have a baby, and he's left-footed. So he wanted to just learn it, to sort of like surprise the wife. So that's why I came into the picture. I was teaching, and then one he goes like, oh, you cry, you're almost graduating. I need people with this background to employ for their national service. And I said, oh, what about economics, math, you know? And I said, oh, I did economics. Then, okay, let's do an interview. In my salsa outfit, in my heels.
Wow.
You know, and immediately we did the interview there and there. And then I got it. So the thing is that, look, sometimes opportunities present itself, but you are waiting for another opportunity when the opportunity is right in front of you.
Because there could be someone
Shoot your
else
shot.
talking to her.
Because I don't believe in the friend zone thing. Because listen, there's nothing more painful than doing konongo kaya. And then when you're ready to shoot your shot, the lady will say, oh, but you are my friend. Look, it's so...
You're like my brother.
You're like my brother. I don't want to lose this friendship, because if something goes wrong, this friendship... Look, listen, the earlier the better, my guy. The earlier the better. Once you like the girl, let the girl know that you like her, but let her know that you understand that she's a widow, so you wouldn't put pressure on her. You give her enough time to process it, and in her own time, we can pick this discussion up properly. You understand? So which means that you've put your intentions there. Don't be doing drop you, have a drink, how's your dog, how's your cat, you know, how's your favorite color, your favorite perfume, your favorite this.
Too much talking.
Much talking. And then you are doing all of those running around, and then finally you see that the lady will now go and get a boyfriend, and then you'll be saying that she has cheated on you. Because you haven't shot your shot. You know, that scenario has happened before. And, you know, this particular couple, I remember when in school, they were teasing them. They used to tease them, like, oh, you people, you are together. They came, oh, no, it's my brother in Christ, my brother in Christ.
Oh.
So along the line, after school, like a couple of years after school, the girl got married to somebody who actually we all went to school with, you know. Now, the guy went into depression for almost a year because the love of his life was now dating somebody else.
And that's because
meanwhile, you didn't talk, you didn't open, you didn't say. The woman is not a magician.
You were not defining anything.
Yes, and you know, women usually, like for instance, a woman who has a first child, sometimes they feel they are not as a woman who has been married before. Sometimes it's not intentional, but there's this feeling of we are not exactly that marketable, you know. And considering the fact that she's also
probably lost my value.
Yeah, and
or my value has reduced.
And because she's also plus size, you are crashing on plus size, but she is probably like, they are fine babes. You this nice, successful man with your own house. In her mind, I don't think that she even thinks that she's even your spec.
Yeah.
To even begin with. So let her know. Let her know. You know, and even you can have studio movies, some 2x4 movie nights, and then choose certain movies that have certain characters in it, and say that the way this woman is sized, they beat me. You know, this woman is sized. I've never seen anybody who is big and not beautiful before. Even you, see how pretty you are.
That's how you drop it.
You drop it. You drop one hint. You drop one hint like, you be my girl, and like, hey, I'll be with, like, just say, you can't even breathe. I'll be all over you. You know, do it and make, it can even be playful, but drop the hints.
Don't waste
And
time.
I'm telling you, if you don't drop the hints now, someone will drop the hints, and you send a message to us that the girl should have known that you were interested and has cheated on you after all the work that you have done, carrying her to and from work and everything, and now she's with somebody else. So my guy, look sharp.
All right, Gail.
No, I'm just wondering what they've been talking about all this while he's been picking it up. I wonder what they
Favorite
talk
color.
about, because
Favorite color, best food.
even if for anything, even if you are not going to tell her how you feel, at least there's a way that you can build a friendship with her. You know, that will, you know, at least in a way be going towards that direction.
So do you think he's trying to respect her, or
what if I like you and I tell you, am I disrespecting you? I don't get it. What's the respect there when, you know, a guy? So if a guy doesn't show interest in you, or if he does, what has respect got to do with?
Because
the
she's a
thing?
widow?
No, but then you see, life keeps going on. your husband, dad, whatever, the world hasn't stopped. And sometimes I always talk about stimulants. You know, the thing is, human beings are social creatures, no matter how you look at it. So if you meet people who, whether you are going through a divorce or whatever, you meet people who stimulate you in a positive way, like this guy keeps picking you up. If you didn't like his company, I'm not assuming that she does, but if you keep sitting in his car, obviously there's something you must like about him for you to feel safe in his presence. So if you keep sitting in his car and at least it's making you feel good a bit, so what's wrong with extending it? If you think something can come out of that, because you see, when we go through stuff, I always say that we never heal completely from things. You know, when you go through a bad time or a good time, there's always residue. And so you cannot sit down and say there's a formula for someone to heal from something. Yeah, she's lost somebody. You don't know what kind of relationship she had with the guy. Maybe that man was even abusing her. How do you know? Maybe it was even a bad relationship. Here she's with somebody who maybe is even treating her better. So I can't sit here and say, give it time or give it time. As long as you feel safe with this person, obviously, then there must be something in there. But since it's the guy who brought the story, instead of just picking her and dropping her, picking her and dropping her, what do you guys talk about? Even if you are afraid of rejection, at least the conversation can lead towards that. As you're in the car, you can be asking questions like, how are you even coping with maybe the loss of your husband? How was it like, and stuff like that. So when you're talking, she can even maybe get to be relaxed more with you, you know, maybe trust you more. And then you can start saying, hey, that's how dating is. Dating is not like chin-chin, like by force. So you can still go and have a drink somewhere. And as you're talking, you see how it goes, you know. And then you can ask certain questions, and then you can find a way to tell her. If she doesn't show interest in maybe being with anybody, you also know. But you have to be smart and intentional with your questions and what you do. Well, you'll be dropping her and picking her up, dropping her and picking her up, and the world is passing you by. And then by the time you realize that moment, that ship has sailed.
Right.
You know, because sometimes when you see a channel, sometimes if you wait, and then one thing I should have said is also, you're saying you like big women. Do you even know if you are just liking her because she's big, or you like her for her? Do you really know her? Do you really know?
So that's what Olivia was saying.
Do you really know if you guys even connect in those areas? Because it's never a one-sided thing, it's two-sided. You've died 1,000 times before your death because you are stressed out. Does she like me? Does she this? Does she that? But yet you don't even know if she even likes you back. So why don't you just put that aside? Know that it's reciprocal. Relationships is never one-sided. Find a way to create that conversation and see if, at least, even if not something serious, you guys can date, you know, go on dates, get to know each other, and then that's what you use to build information. That's what dating does, information, and then see how, if you guys connect somewhere.
Right.
That's what
Right, but do you think in this situation, okay, because earlier on today we were talking about it in the office. Okay, let's forget that she's a widow and stuff like that, but do you think it's okay for women to also shoot their shots?
Yes! Me, I'll do anytime. Because I know what I want, so why should I wait for? He's not thinking for me, so I should be able to tell him.
I'm a believer of drop the hints for the guy to do, but sometimes if you've been there, done that, Charlie, there's nothing to lose. Shoot your shot.
Okay. Olivia?
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, if you like something,
Yeah.
would you go for it?
Because
Yeah.
when you are single, you're now starting, Charlie, sometimes you would want a man to chase you. But in this case, you are single not because you've been waiting your whole life for her. It's just because you're a widow. And you know that you may be difficult to be approached just because you're a widow. So if you see somebody who is showing signs that they like you, nothing stops you from even saying that, why? Do you like me or
Do you
something?
like me or not? Yeah.
It's how you go about it.
Yeah.
It's how you go about it.
So you should be
that makes
creative
it.
about it.
You should be
Yeah.
creative. You should drop hints. You should, but verbally, I just feel like, I think that's my little opinion, that it should come from him. He needs to man up enough to.
Well,
but you know, when you
but
were
no,
talking about.
But you see, that's the
about-
problem. We keep saying man up. Man this, man. But he's a human being.
Yeah.
Why
But
can't
if
we
you
just see
drop
people
the
as
hints-
human beings instead of man
You are
and
saying
woman?
man up. Here is this guy who can't even let her know.
can't even
So he
talk.
also goes through what women go through. So why
Yeah.
should it be a gender thing?
You see,
But that's what
Why
Rosina,
should-
that's what
should it
Rosina
be a
said.
guy,
That's why Rosina
you
said,
know?
ask him, like, hey, why do you like me? He should be able to also come
I'll
back
tell
to
you
you
I like
and
you, I
also
won't ask
say,
you.
and no, but you have to ask, because what
I
if,
like you,
What
I
if,
like that.
What if you're judging wrong? What if he doesn't like you? And
What?
women we are
No,
more
but you
emotional.
see- but you
ask.
see- but you
there's
see-
nothing wrong with asking.
especially in this situation, if I ask him and he says he doesn't like me, nothing's spoiled.
Nothing spoiled. Life goes
Yeah.
on.
Life goes on. My problem is I'm not going to be chasing you and
Exactly.
be begging you to
No,
love me.
you shouldn't.
But if the feeling is mutual, because you see, there's pain in knowing that the thing was right under your nose and you allowed it to go, and you see how the thing is thinning with somebody else, and then you're like, that could be me. That is a very unfortunate. So because some people don't get hints. That's why people
Actually, that's
easily.
true.
That's why people get friend zoned a lot. Some people they'll be dropping all the hints. A third party can see the hints, but the one the hints is directed to doesn't see it. So sometimes beyond a certain point, it's either you get it or you lose it. But even if you opened your mouth and made the person know how you felt about the person, my take is don't do that legwork of chasing as a lady, chasing to make it stick. Leave that legwork for the man to do.
Right.
And I'm a little worried that he confidently says, I don't have a problem with his spec, but the fact that he's been very intentional about what he said, that he likes big women. So it means that once I don't know, that's why I said he should hold on. Once that's last full, because like literally he slept with her so many times.
In his head.
In his head. So if the next big woman comes, what's going to happen? That's why you need to watch it and ask yourself.
Oh, but she's not the only big woman in the planet.
Yeah, exactly what my point. Don't trouble her. If it's
If
based
it's not
on
love, yeah.
if it's based on lust, then watch it so that you don't trouble her and decide for yourself, okay, do I genuinely care about this person as a human being? Am I going to stick with them? What does he want? Is it just to sleep with her or for the long term? There's nothing wrong in liking big women.
But Olivia, let me ask you. Man, woman, when you like somebody, all of us in our head, we've slept with you. Just that our principles prevent us from actualizing it. No, seriously, once you
Like
start
it's based
feeling,
on attraction?
once you
Is that
start
what
feeling
you mean?
attracted to somebody, you don't just get attracted to the person to satisfy just your eyes. There's a part of
mind,
you
your
that
soul. imagines
you probably kissing the person, the person probably holding you. There are times you sleep, wake up, and he's the first person on your mind, and you are thinking, what if it could have been? But your principles as a person is what holds you and puts you together. So for me, that reaction she's exhibiting towards the woman, so long as he has not forced himself on the woman, that will turn into rape or forcefully having an affair with her. To be honest, I have nothing wrong with that reaction.
I think it's more controlled than that because it's so surprised. He hasn't even told her.
The girl.
He's
Getting the feeling, but he hasn't told the girl. So which means that for me, he's in control. He's just being honest about how he feels. Most of us are not honest about how we feel.
Or maybe this is the way he knows how to express himself.
And then for big women, my problem is that when somebody says I'm attracted to big women, the big women, especially in Ghana, we are plenty. In Accra, more. Those of us who are eating the meat and all those things, we are plenty, so they are chow. So So the thing is that why is he interested in just that one person?
Right.
And the fact that they go to work and come, if he said that there's a widow in my area who I'm attracted to, I would have said that maybe he doesn't really know her. But the fact that they sit in the car, I don't think she's mumu the whole time. I have a feeling that beyond the size, there's also something that is sort of like intellectually stimulating him. But just that he's mumu.
Yeah.
Open your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoot.
Anyway, sisters, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I mean, it's been a very interesting conversation, especially the last one. I mean, with so many thoughts and so many opinions. But yeah, one thing we'll all agree about is that he needs to shoot his shots. And that's very important. So thank you once more for joining me on today's episode. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Those are the sisters and they have shared your thoughts. Now it's time for us to take a quick break, and when we come back, I will be sharing my final thoughts too. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time for me to share my final thoughts. But if you're just joining us, this is Sister right here on Channel 1 TV and City 97.3 FM. So we read 2 letters, and of course the sisters got to share what they feel about this letter and also share their piece of advice to the writers of the letters. So I am going to start with the first letter. The first letter for me is an issue, like I said, an issue of loving marriage than yourself. There's no harm in loving marriage. Marriage is a beautiful thing, but at some point, you have to also put yourself, over any other thing. You have to learn to love yourself. If you do not learn to love yourself, no one will know how to love you. And that's the issue I see here. It's not wrong that you fell in love, but you saw the red flags, but you tried to fix it. And fixing the red flags is one of the things, African women have been conditioned to do. Nyami beye, nyami beye. He will change. I will pray for him. When we get married, when I get pregnant, things will change. If it didn't change in the dating stage, it will not change in the marriage stage. It's not magic. It's not miracles. It's just a lot of unsolicited advice that does not work when society actually wants us to be the ones always trying to fix things. Relationships are a two-way thing. You understand? We have to come together 50-50 and make things work. You cannot just be the one that is always pushing. You are not Bob the Builder. You are not building you're not the only one that is supposed to build a home. Do you understand? And that is one thing we need to take out from our minds. I feel like, know that relationships are a two-way thing. That's the first thing. And then secondly, if you knew all this was happening, somehow you still got pregnant. I don't want to blame you, because right now you are the victim in all this. And the only thing I can tell you right now, the only advice that you want, you ask if you should stay or leave. I think you should leave. No two ways about it. Don't talk too much. Just leave. Why? Because 1, you are 8 months pregnant. 2, you are going through a lot of emotional torture and psychological torture. 3, will it affect the baby? Yes, it will affect the baby if it keeps going on. And what kind of effects will it have on the baby? You might have a baby that will come out with problems, that might come out being deformed, that might come out being sick. And that is because of your own doing. Your own doing, being in a situation that does not, help you at all. And if it doesn't help you, automatically it doesn't help the pregnancy. So, sweetheart, thank you for sharing. We sympathize with you. But the next step, take care of your mental health and take care of your pregnancy. And the only way you can do that is leave. You've done all the talking, it didn't work. So please leave. If you have parents, if you have friends, if you gotta move. Just like Gail said, you cannot treat malaria by staying in the den of mosquito or where there's a lot of mosquitoes. So please, if you gotta leave, just leave, all right? And the second letter about young man, liking fat women, it's your choice. And I kind of like the fact that you have a spec Because there are a lot of people that don't even know what they like. If you ask them what this, they don't know. Today is black, blue, blue. They want to taste everything. But you have a spec, so great. And the only thing I would say in support with the sisters, I think you need to actually differentiate what you're really feeling. Is it love? Is it lust? But it's important to know that it's love or lust. If it's lust, please do not stress the woman. I beg you. I mean, she's gone through enough by losing her husband. And if it's love, why not? Why not? Just do your thing. Talk to her. Time is ticking. There are 8 billion people in the world. She meets men every day. You are not the first, and you won't be the last. So please speak to her, unless maybe somebody might be speaking to her at the office or at church, somewhere. So if you are serious about her and you really do like her, speak to her. Go on dates, take it easy, no rush, because obviously she's a widow. I don't know how long she's been in that situation for. You have to know her mind, if she's healed, and you know, that's when you can even move to the next step. But that's it, and good luck. Good luck. We're rooting for you if it's love. We're all rooting for you here if it's love. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today on this episode of Sister Sister. And a very big thank you to Gino and Cindy Rice for supporting us on the show. And of course, you are the main MVPs always, because without you, this show wouldn't be possible. To all you watching and to you listeners, thank you for tuning in on this episode of Sister Sister. My name is Chris Carter. See you next week.